The transition from dictatorship to democracy in Spain is one of the most remarkable political transformations of the 20th century. For almost 4 decades, Spain lived under the authoritarian rule of General Francisco Franco following the Spanish Civil War. However, in the later part of the 20th century, Spain underwent a profound change, transitioning from dictatorship to democracy. In this video, we will explore the various factors and pivotal events that facilitated Spain's transition to democracy. Stay tuned. To understand the Spanish transition to democracy, it is essential to grasp the historical context that preceded it. The Spanish Civil War erupted in 1936 due to deep-seated socio-political divisions between Republicans consisting of leftist factions such as anarchists, socialists, and communists, and nationalists led by Francisco Franco and backed by conservative, monarchist, and fascist elements. The war was fueled by ideological, economic, and regional tensions, which were further exacerbated by international involvement, particularly from Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, supporting Franco's nationalists. During the Spanish Civil War in 1936, General Franco's ascent to power marked the beginning of a repressive dictatorship characterized by censorship, political oppression, and the suppression of regional identities. The regime retained power by extensively employing state security apparatuses to suppress dissent and political opposition, preventing any challenges to its authority. Franco aimed to consolidate power while upholding a facade of legitimacy. In 1947, he declared Spain a monarchy with a vacant king position, effectively delaying any formal restoration of monarchy until after his death. This strategic maneuver enabled Franco to maintain control over the state apparatus while laying the groundwork for a future transition to monarchy on his terms. At that time, the heir to the Spanish throne was Infante Juan, Count of Barcelona, son of King Alfonso XIII. However, Franco harbored extreme suspicion towards him, viewing him as a liberal who opposed his regime. Ultimately, Franco decided to bypass a generation and appointed Infante Juan Carlos as his successor. He envisioned grooming the young prince to lead the nation, while preserving the ultra-conservative and authoritarian nature of his regime. In 1969, Juan Carlos was formally designated heir apparent and bestowed the new title of Prince of Spain. As a condition of his appointment, he was required to pledge allegiance to Franco's Movimiento Nacional, which he did with little outward hesitation. Juan Carlos frequently met and consulted with Franco during his time as heir apparent, often participating in official and ceremonial state functions alongside the dictator. Throughout the period from 1969 to 1975, Juan Carlos publicly endorsed Franco's regime. However, as time passed, Juan Carlos secretly met with political opposition leaders and exiles who advocated for liberal reforms in the country. During the 1960s, cracks began to surface in Franco's regime. Economic stagnation, social unrest, and international isolation exerted increasing pressure for change. Furthermore, Franco's death in 1975 marked a pivotal moment for Spain, creating an opportunity for transition to democracy. The transition to democracy in Spain was not a sudden event and rather a complex process involving various actors and institutions. King Juan Carlos I played a pivotal role in facilitating this transition. Despite being appointed by Franco as his successor, Juan Carlos surprised many by embracing democratic reforms and distancing himself from the authoritarian legacy of his predecessor. Initially, King Juan Carlos retained Carlos Arias Navarro as the prime minister who had served under Franco. However, in response to tens of thousands of strikes, demonstrations, and sit-ins, Juan Carlos appointed Adolfo Suarez, a member of the Falange Party, the sole party in the Francoist regime, but with a moderate approach, as prime minister in 1976. As prime minister, Adolfo Suarez spearheaded the democratic transition by implementing a series of reforms. He played a crucial role in the passing of the Political Reform Act, which reinstated democracy in Spain and paved the way for the first democratic election since 1936. Among the most notable reforms was the legalization of political parties, including the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party and the Communist Party of Spain, which had been banned under Franco's regime. Suarez also oversaw the drafting and approval of the 1978 Constitution, which laid the foundation for Spain's democratic governance. The role of political parties also cannot be overstated in Spain's transition to democracy. The Spanish Socialist Workers' Party or PSOE, under the leadership of Felipe González, emerged as a key proponent of democratic change. The party's victory in the 1982 election signaled a definitive endorsement of democracy by the Spanish electorate. Civil society organizations such as trade unions and grassroots movements also played a vital role in advocating for democratic reforms and holding the government accountable. Their activism and mobilization contributed to the democratization process by amplifying public demand for political change. Despite significant progress towards democracy, Spain encountered numerous challenges along the way. On February 23, 1981, Spain faced a grave threat to its emerging democracy when a group of military officers, led by Lieutenant Colonel Antonio Tejero, stormed the Spanish Congress of Deputies in Madrid in an attempted coup d'etat. The coup, known as 23F, aimed to derail the Spanish democratic transition and restore authoritarian rule. However, Juan Carlos played a decisive role in countering the coup by publicly denouncing it and reaffirming his commitment to democracy. His televised address to the nation, urging military personnel to return to their barracks, proved crucial in preserving Spain's democratic institutions. A simultaneous coup attempt orchestrated by Captain General Jaime Milans del Bosch in Valencia also failed. In addition to coup attempts, Spain faced other significant challenges during its transition to democracy. Chief among these was the persistence of regional tensions, particularly in regions like Catalonia and the Basque Country, where demands for autonomy or independence remained contentious issues. The legacy of Franco's authoritarian rule also cast a shadow over Spain's democratic consolidation. The process of grappling with the past, including addressing human rights abuses and achieving reconciliation, proved to be a complex and ongoing effort. However, Spain's commitment to democratic principles and the rule of law enabled it to overcome these challenges. The consolidation of democracy was further solidified through Spain's integration into the European Union, which provided a framework for political stability, economic development, and respect for human rights. Spain's transition from dictatorship to democracy stands as a testament to the resilience of its people and the strength of political determination. Through a combination of visionary leadership, grassroots activism, and institutional reforms, Spain successfully navigated the challenging path of political transition to emerge as a vibrant and pluralistic democracy. While obstacles persist, Spain's journey serves as an inspiring example of how nations can overcome authoritarian legacies and adopt democratic governance for betterment of society. This was a brief overview of the Spanish transition to democracy. If you found this content informative, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear from you, so feel free to share your thoughts, comments, and ideas for future topics in the comments section. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.